there is something called as three-tier architecture. We should know this. This is a very famous concept of three-tier architecture, wherein boss, you're on a speaker or what? Your voice is echoing actually. Yeah, because when it echoes, it's little annoying for me actually. You put headsets here, okay? Fine. It's a three-tier architecture. One is called desktop tier, another is application tier, and another is a database tier. So you just keep catching these words: architecture, desktop tier, application tier, database tier, uh, and there are more of such words which will be coming. Apple top, common top, aura top. Yeah, like you say that environment files, variables in your database, right? Correct. Likewise, we will have all these terminology. So this is a new terminology. You will be able to keep getting it. Fine. So when you do the installation, let's assume that the already the installation is done. Okay, and you have the application installed on uh, um, you know application is installed, and this is your database. Okay. So the desktop tier is nothing but our desktop. Okay. Let's say we are accessing a website, amazon.com. Okay. How do you access? Through our browser. Correct? Yeah, you say something here, whether you're getting or not. Yeah. There is some front end, correct? For every front end, there is a back end. And the database can be Oracle, MySQL, whatever it might be. Correct? So for us as a customer, for end users who uses the application, we are only concerned about our browser. Through browser only, we do all our transaction. Correct? Right? So client tier, database tier, and application tier. So as a DB in Oracle applications, there are different. So there are three different versions of Oracle application we will be discussing. Okay, e-business suite 11.5.10.2, which comes with a database of 9206. Yeah, 9206. Yeah, and e-business suite release 12.1 11.107, I think. 11.106, 11.107 or 06, don't remember. Okay. And e-business food 12 to 12.20 or 12.20 is a base release. So let us take an example of 12.4. It will come with 11 to 4 by default. Why and all we will discuss in detail. Okay. So first we will discuss about 11i architecture. Okay. Just a second. Okay. In application, we have application server, we have web services, we have form services, okay, in concurrent process. And on the database, you have database only. So you tell me one thing. Have you done the installation of um, you know core database? Which version of Oracle database you have learned recently? Anyway, you installed. Okay. Other than 19C, you have not installed anything. Okay. All right. See, when we do the installation of 11i, we will have Oracle application server, web services, form services, and concurrent processing installed on our database application tier. Okay? And on the database, we will have all the database. Acha, why I was asking is, you see, when we do the installation of a normal database, okay, when we do the installation of a normal database, what will get installed? Nothing will get installed. You will get your default table spaces, correct? System table space, sysocs table space, undo table space, temp table space. That's it. But when you go inside, let's say when you do the installation, you have just created a database, but by default you will not get tables, correct? You will not get any tables, procedures, synonyms, anything. You will not get it because it will be created and it will be developed by the developers, right? Correct. But whereas when you do the installation of Oracle applications, as we discussed, you must have remembered, there are 212 modules which will get installed in the Oracle applications. So when 212 modules are, when it gets installed, all synonyms, procedures, tables, everything gets created. So automatically, the data job of a apps DBA has been made very easy. Otherwise, when compared to core DBA, all the table spaces, even tables, everything's get created. All you have to do is the end users, once the Oracle application is installed, the functional consultants and the technical consultants, they can directly perform the setups on the Oracle application instance, be it 11i, be it R12, be it 12.2. Anything which gets installed directly, there is something called as Vision instance also. We are going to discuss it. So it comes with a dummy data. Once the Vision instance is installed, automatically it will comes with a dummy data, and they will be able to use the data. Okay. So just a second, huh? Yeah. See, when we do the installation of Oracle applications, we will get application technology stack, financial modules will get installed, CRM, supply chain, manufacturing, public sector, and projects. Okay. On the on the database side, you will have procedures and rest of the things get installed. See, first I wanted you to see how an Oracle applications looks like. Okay. when you do the installation of Oracle applications 11i, this is how the screen looks like. You enter, let's say, hostname.domainname.com colon port number when you give, and you give the default username password. You see, you will, as an end user, you will be able to see this screen. Okay, this is an HTML interface. Okay, Suresh. So this is the screen. This is the main interface through using which the end users will come and do their work. Let's say there are 212 modules. So will I be able to use all that modules? So no. My answer is no, sir. As an Oracle Apps DBA, using the system administrator responsibility, I will go and change their entire. I'll limit the. I'll create a user. Functional user is SCM user, and I'll attach the SCM related more responsibilities to him. Using that only, he will be able to play around with the whatever the job he is supposed to do. He can do it. Other than that, he cannot touch anything. So all using our as an apps DBA, we can create using the system administrator responsibility. We can create everything. We can create responsibilities. There are predefined responsibilities, roles and responsibilities predefined. As a user, I'll create a user and I will attach the responsibility. So beyond that, they cannot do anything. So as my job, our job as a DBA, when we do the installation of Oracle applications, we will make sure that all the default passwords are changed once the installation is done, and we will restrict the default accesses. Let's say if you have installed Vision, demo database in, so default passwords will be Vision for Vision user. The password will be welcome, I suppose. So if as a functional users, they will know all these gimmicks. So everybody, to protect the system, what we will do is we will just reset the change the default password as soon as the installation part is done. Okay. HTML interface. It provides cheaper, faster, and more accurate information. It eliminates paperwork, reduces administrative cost, and increases organization responsiveness. Provides simple, approachable interface, easy to use, and require very little user training. Okay. Anything? There are two types of interfaces. One is the HTML interface. The HTML interface looks like this. Okay, so it is very easy to use. And then the other is the forms interface. Okay, you see, this is how the forms looks like, Oracle application forms. So when this is just an example of a interface, Java interface, how it looks like. So whenever there is a Oracle application user logs in, either he will be able to see the screen like this. Okay, he must have clicked somewhere here, ABN analyzer, hell, or whatever it is. Then he will get like this. This is a HTML interface. Okay, this form. No, 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 no. See, that is what we are going to see this. See, first from a 30,000, what do you call, above this land. It's a very high level overview which I am talking about. We are going to see this, whatever we are talking, we are going to see this in detail. This is just for you. So out of curiosity, okay, finally, once the installation part is done, whatever it is, but how will my Oracle application front ends looks like? Correct. To, yeah, as we were discussing, that the end users will work on the forms interface and HTML interface. You will not understand. So that is the reason, from my this thing, I wanted to show you. Is it clear? Okay. While doing the installation part or discussing more about the installation of Oracle applications, I'll give you more detailed idea how, what is demo vision demo database, what and all that. So for now, this is just an overview of how Oracle application is, what are the different interfaces. Because when we discuss something about forms interface or Java J initiators, okay, then you will never know understand. To first you understand the concept, then when you go through the guides you will understand all of you can learn on your own. I mean to say, there is a lot. Oracle is an ocean. So first you have to understand the basics, then slowly when you get into it, when you read it, you will understand, okay, out of 500 pages, if I read this much, I am okay, I am done karke. Okay, I know the subject, I can work on it karke. All right. Yes. This okay. And two things. One thing is, we have see this, this is the architecture. We discuss about public sector. See, these are the different modules which gets installed. Okay, I just took a back this thing. Oracle application technology stack, what it contains and all that. Then CRM modules, SCM modules, and manufacturing. We discuss about all 212 different modules which we will install as an Oracle Apps DBA, right? So this is, yeah. And inside that there is going to be a business data and different product ops and all that. And concurrent, see, Oracle applications. Okay, this is a system overview. We have a database tier, we have an application tier. Yeah, I'm just getting a call now, if you don't mind. Hello. Yes, please. Yeah, yeah. 11i. What is installed is what will get installed in the application side: web services, form services, concurrent processing, and admin server. Okay. Database me, you have only database. Now, for different companies, okay, what they will do is, for faster performance, they will have admin server and form server on the database server, and then forms and web services on additional two servers. Because if the concurrent users are higher, let's say if an organization is having only small organizations are having only 100 users, okay, then based upon that only our system is scalability is being designed, correct? Let's say let us let us say an organization initially purchased financial licenses. Okay, they have got 100 users. Okay, all 100 users will log in at the same time. Now they wanted to expand, and the business grows, right? It every year it keeps on growing, right? So now they wanted to use SCM modules. Okay, so what will happen? The all additional 100 users, they will log in. So when the additional 100 users log in, the load, let's say 200 people are logging into the same system. What will happen? If you don't have enough memory, enough RAM, still we will have limitations. So in that situation, what will happen is, we the architects will design in such a way that for the faster performance, they'll have more than the same things, concurrent processing, admin, they'll split into two nodes, and they will make sure that it is more performance wise, it is more faster. That is the only difference from varies from one customer to another customer. Architecture remains same, but on which node is sitting what, and how to do the manage that, that is the only knowledge we will require. You're getting it right? So for example, I'll show you. For example, I worked with a customer. Where is that? You're able to see this? Okay. I am actually sharing. What is that? Yes. No, 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 that is correct. I wanted to write something. Just a second, just a second. Huh? You're presenting here. The architecture remains same, but how the you know uh, let's say a company has got 500 users, 500 concurrent users. You just try to use this terminology, concurrent users and all that. In the next, future classes and all. So for now, for 500 users. So 500 users might be from finance, yes, HRMS, sales, marketing, yes, supply chain management, projects, whatever it is. Okay. Now you have installed everything on both database and application on only one server. Or let's assume it's a small server. On that you have single node. So now you know that when I say that single node, I have installed everything. What you will understand? What you will understand is I've installed forms, web, concurrent processing, admins, database, anything, you know, anything on a same box. So I'll create one mount point U01 for, D01 for database, D02 for applications. Okay. Okay. I've created it. Now they will log in as a in a http dot local, let's say Reliance. Host is production reliance.com 8000. They have logged in. The moment they log into the system, through this, either they'll open HTML interface or a form interface. And then when they try to log in, all 500 users, when they're trying to log into the application, what will happen? Through client browser, correct? You're getting right now. So these users, when they try to log into the from the client browser to the application services, which is installed on a single node, they try to run. What will happen? Let's say their RAM is only 16 GB. Okay, and motherboard is 2 gigahertz. That time, because it's an old version, right? It what will happen? Everything is sitting on the system is sitting over here. They try to run. See what will happen is, let's say uh, let us forms reports, they'll run something, correct? So let us say HRMS. In HRMS, an HRMS user is logging into the system. Okay, and there is a person who works in an Reliance for 40 years. Okay. Now, for 40 years, his entire how many 40 years of pay slips, in 40 years, how many loans he has taken, whatever it is, the customer wants to give the benefits. Okay, like PF, gratuity, and anything. So in this 40, so now the customer wants to run a report, whatever reports is related to his, based upon that. So when they go and try to search that in the database, that query is going to take longer time, right? Yes or no? It is because it is trying to fetch very detailed data. So let us assume, like this kind of business transaction, when they are trying to do like this, uh, to, out of 500, 300 people are running similar request. Okay, what will happen? My system is not capable of handling this stress so much. Okay, let us say the same system, it has been designed for only 50 concurrent users. Okay, it will work for 50. Till 50 users, you will not see any problem. 16 GB with 2 GB of 2 gigahertz, whatever it is, with 60 and all that thing, it will work. Whereas the more number of business users when it increases, you have to, based upon the experience, based upon our knowledge, what we will design the systems. How we will design the systems is, architecture remains the same. Architecture, this remains the same, it won't change. When you say architecture means, theoretically 11i only will have web services, farm services, concurrent services, admin server and database server. Okay, so what the customers will, architects, Oracle application architects will do is, they will have two application nodes. Okay, application node 1, application node 2. Servers, physical servers. Yes. Okay. And database server. And on the database server, they will have, this is on the database server, this application server they will install. Application server, what is that? Admin and concurrent pros. Okay. So for one, this is how a production box looks like. Okay. You're getting me? Yes. So like this, if an organization is big, what will happen is, they'll keep this, their pre-production similar to that. Okay, let's say why they have a pre-production. Pre-production, why you will have is, any performance or load testing. Let us say, if 500 users system is giving a trouble. Okay, I cannot go and test directly on my actual final box where the business is using for transaction. What I will do is, I'll do a clone of it, clone of my production on the another boxes, and there is will be a separate URL. On this, all the developers, DBAs, or functional guys, they'll test it. Let's say now HRMS guy wants to test that query. He'll first come here on the pre-prod, then he'll test his query. Whatever modifications he wants to do, he will do it. Then that code will be deployed to the production. Okay. Yeah. See, there are different phases. See, you will have a one development environment. Okay. Then you have a test environment. Then you have a UAT. Okay. Then you have production. Now, let's say if some form is not working, Oracle application form, when you're trying to open, it is not working. What you will do? You will always go back to Oracle support. Oracle support ko what you will say, hey boss, I am your user. I am still under your licensing. Please come and support me. Means he'll, okay, he'll say, go and apply this patch. Okay. Then what you will do, you will first come and apply the patch here. Sometimes after applying the patch also, you will get issues. Okay. Then the same output will share it with Oracle. Oracle will come back to us and he'll give you second patch. They'll say, if you apply two patches, it will work. So us, what is our responsibility is, first, anything in the project, if anything goes, it has to go to the production development. Then it goes to the test environment. Then two times we tested. Third time, user acceptance test. UAT is user acceptance test. See, till here, our own team is responsible. Okay. Our team is saying, our means our support team or whoever it is. They'll come and they will say, boss, okay, we have tested. But somebody should be accountable from the customer side also, right? End users. Let's say we are giving an example of Reliance. So Reliance team we has to say that yes, the code was not working on the production, okay, but they have tried to reproduce the same scenario in the dev. Now they are able to figure it out what the problem. It has moved to test. Okay, now when it comes to UAT, it is sign off. Okay, when you give approval only, I'll put it to UAT. Once it is put to the UAT, then once it is signed off, I'll move it to the production. This is how a typical environment, patch moves. Whenever a patch is moved, this is how it will move in typical support environment. So for some customers, they will have a CRP, okay, separate patch instance. They'll give any name, patch instance. And then for code development, development environment they'll create. For functional, some functional instance they'll create. Then again, they test. Then performance testing ke liye separate instance. Then UAT, pre-prod, the bigger the environment is, that is how the count of instances will increase based upon the customer, because they have to invest so much on their hardware, right? As an end customer, I can, you as a DBA, I as a DBA can. So what will happen is when a capacity planning is done for any business, okay, let's say a new customer walks into your company OSI and they say that, hey boss, I have a requirement to implement Oracle application, can you please let me know. Well, so it will come to our sales team. Okay, sales team on in US will contact pre-sales team in India. Okay, the pre-sales team will go back to the Suresh. Let's say Suresh is a architect. All right. In the future, definitely you will become an architect. Yeah. So when they come back, so you have to think all about these scenarios. Ki, okay, then you cannot say, okay, I know if you install 32 GB RAM and 16 GB RAM or 32 GB RAM, and on the database you install this, it will work. Then in that case, it comes experience. What you have to do is what we will do is we will go back to first you have to do research. Okay, why how you have to ask how many concurrent users. You say, oh, okay, our requirement is 2000 concurrent users. Then do you have any budget constraints? They'll say no, we are a banking organization, we are Bank of America, we don't have any problem, you just tell. Then you can detail in detail, and for every thing you propose for CRP, whenever you say CRP, you will consider that for patching this mount point this much, for application patches this much, and database backups this much. So you will tell the storage requirement, you will calculate the storage, this many hundreds of TBs of storage will be required, these many operating system licenses it will require, these many things are required. Like this, you will do all the stuff and you give it to your pre-sales team. Pre-sales team will first have a presentation and ask clarification. Are you are giving too much, bole to. Then do you have any what do you say clarification, justification for this environment? Then you can say yes. Then second time it will come and say that no, yeah, even though they are millionaires, but they have their own DBS. So now they want to do something there. Instead of let's say initially we propose 4 application nodes here for the production. Okay, then their team will come and tell us, hey boss, you do one thing, instead of having uh, um, 4 application nodes, one we can do is you install one application admin and concurrent on the database server. In this way you can save the cost, because cost is always important, right? Let's say Suresh wants to buy a laptop, okay, but he wants a Apple laptop, but you should have the enough cash in your hand also, right? Even though you are earning, let's say you are earning 2 lakh rupees a month, still you will have your own expenses, right? Then only you will be able to invest that. Likewise, the organizations will also think in that way. That is why they have their own architects sitting at the customer side. Whenever people like us, when they go back, you have to contest with them with your technical knowledge. Then when you say that, okay, if you wanted to squeeze like this, then it will have an impact on the performance. If you say yes, then you will write a mail, hey boss, we will propose this. However, just because the you wanted to optimize the cost, I am coming back and reviewing my architecture for the production. So based upon our discussion, we will have this thing. However, in future, if the count has increased from 2000 to 2300, this system won't support. So with this our experience, we would suggest you. However, we are agreeing on this karke, we will give a writing in the contract. Let's say after 2 years down the line, we are still we are supporting, and a new DBA myself came, okay, in your team. I'll say, hey boss, your system is not scalable to handle 2500. Then immediately they'll come, oh, same OSI team has gave us, why didn't you tell us that time? You should have think about it. Means Suresh will open the previous emails which you have discussed with the customer and give it as a proof. Hey boss, we already told you this. This is something which we have forecast from our end, and then you did not agree because you had a cost. So if you want now, still it is scalability is possible, provided you provide as a additional hardware. We will try to figure it out how to do, add the node and get it implemented. It is our baby, should not be a problem. So that is how in real time things goes back and forth. Okay, right? Okay. Now, I know about Oracle application architecture. Architecture of forms, reports, web. So, which needs to be deployed where to increase the performance? You know what? When we walk into any ATM, or when you do any online transaction, let's say you're trying to transfer money from your bank account to another bank account, your parents' bank account. Okay, so if the response time is bad, let's say OTP is supposed to get generated and it is not taking time, what will happen? What will happen is, due to timeout, you will not, even though you have sufficient funds, you will not be able to do your business transaction. Likewise, likewise, the end customers, what they will do, they will, they will also have some business scenario. If the so anyone will not tolerate and on the performance standpoint. So let's say somebody is trying to book an order. Let's say the travel team is trying to book a business class ticket now. So he has to take permission. That is how the scenario works, right? In ERP. Let's say Suresh is a CEO of an OSI. Okay. Now you have a delivery head. Okay. Now again you have a project manager. Okay. Now you have technical lead. Okay. Now you have a consultant in an organization. Yes, there is a requirement in US for Suresh to travel. Okay. Now, let's say I am the consultant. I want to travel to US. The company knows now, but this entire thing, now you understand that there is a travel desk who wants to book the ticket. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, there is a business requirement. Abdul wants to travel to US. Okay, this is a business critical scenario. My travel team will, my PMO will say, hey boss, plan is travel, immediate travel. So what the travel desk will do, he will find out, British Air, whatever the routes, he'll take the three routes. British Airways, okay, Qatar Airways, and let's say Emirates. I'll try to compare the cost. Here, business class. Here it is. What do you say? Um, uh, Economic class. Here it is. Uh, Here also economics. Here also business might be. So let's say the ticket is coming for 2 lakh rupees. Okay. Here, Qatar, it is charging 2.2 lakh rupees. Okay. So now for Emirates, it's charging 1 lakh rupees. Of course. Now, in the morning, I said, what will happen? The PMO will raise a request in the ERP, plan Abdul's travel. Okay. But to raise this request, he'll have to go to the Oracle ERP. If it Oracle ERP is implemented, okay, then he will give all the details, purpose of travel. Then it will go to the team lead. Some most of the time, team leads will not be there. Directly, it will go to the PMO. Once it is approved by the PMO, the next level approval, because he has to justify 2 lakh rupees, right? Delivery. From again delivery to the CEO, the final approval is there. Now, this is a business case. Now, this approval I have taken already for 2nd September. Now, same thing, if the system, let's assume it is approved till delivery head. Okay. But the CEO, when he's trying to use the system, my Oracle is down for XYZ reason. Then this entire scenario changes. Let's say instead of 2, I'm booking on 3, then the ticket cost of 2.5 lakh. It might happen, right? Like because of XYZ reason. For Qatar Airways, it's 2.3 lakhs, whatever it is. It's a business scenario. So now here the business, our ERP went down means what will happen is the CEO cannot approve. He initially approved 2 lakh. Correct. Now before going to the CEO, if it changes to 2.5 lakh, then again the request has to be raised and it has to be done. You're seeing the urgency, sense of urgency. Correct. So that is, yes. Let's say here, if the performance was good, the performance has gone down, and because to fix the performance or some bug or issue, I bring down the system, it will be a problem. So this is a real-time business scenario which will happen into day-to-day lives of any organization. So performance is a key. Nobody will come. Performance and uptime, 99.999% system availability contract you will sign. Let's say any downtime should be planned, and in a year I will bring down the database and application down for only once, that too for an hour. That is how the contract is. If you're ready for this, I am ready to pay $2 million. It is how the contract is. Okay. Now, if as a DBA, let's say a new DBA comes in, if he knows that if you bounce the database, the performance will be better, you downed it. You downed it for a purpose, but it was not into the contract. Then it will hit the contract. Immediately it will not have an impact. The delivery lead has to answer why, when you have SLAs 99.99%, why the system went down. Then you say performance. So why performance? So again, the detail panchayat will sit and then analyze whether it cannot be done or is it something to do. So these are all things will come into picture. Okay. So now you know the architecture of 11i. Okay, two things I'm telling you parallelly, hand in hand. One, what is it there? What are the versions it will get installed? I'll show you in some time. But Oracle database is sitting on one tier. Based upon the customer cost, you will have a scalability. Okay, number of nodes, and then this is a database desktop tier. Hmm. Okay, now this is about 11i. Just a second. I wanted to see quick installation. Okay, 11i May. When you say I know the installation, we have what is the okay technology stack component. The Oracle RDBMS is RDBM. We have different Oracle homes. For everything, we will call it Oracle home. But there is a difference. Technological date RDBMS homes is always refers to your database. Remember that. When you say I'm applying a patch on Oracle home, so as an apps DB, I should say it is an RDBMS Oracle home. 806 home, application HTTP server. This is all architecture, right? Okay, one more thing. As a DBA, are you writing it or not? Huh? No, no, no. See, okay. See, when you okay, when you always talk about Oracle applications release 11i, okay, what will happen is by default Oracle has released Oracle 11i on HPUX, IBM AIX, Linux, MS Windows, and Solaris. Yes, different version on the HP servers also you can install 11i, or on the Linux, or on the Solaris, or on the Windows, or on the Linux. If somebody says there are, I wanted to install Oracle applications 11i on Solaris, Sun Solaris, Intel. There are two types of hardware, Sun Spark and Sun Intel. So as a DBA, you should be able to tell upfront that Intel won't support Oracle 11i. For us to install Oracle applications 11i, I should only have Sun Spark, Spark operating system. Okay, fine. And then, okay, have you installed, when you install the Oracle database 19C, what have you installed? Let's say, how did you do the installation? Before we do the installation of Oracle application, Oracle database, we will have some Linux or Linux libraries, right? Linux libraries. So when we do the installation of Linux libraries, what will happen is, um, uh, if you don't, this is one of the prereqs before we do the installation of any software on Windows or Linux. You have to have some libraries for Oracle applications. That libraries will get installed by the system administrators. Once it is installed, then only we will be able to proceed with our installation. First, identify the operating system where you have to do the installation. If it is 11i, you require HP. You on HP servers, it will HP Unix it will support, and IBM AIX, Linux, Intel. Now let's say you wanted to you say I will install it on some Oracle applications 11i on Oracle Enterprise Linux. Latest version is 9. I wanted to install. You cannot install because there is something called a certification matrix. Before we do the installation of any Oracle application version, we have to go through. We have to go through and make sure that compatibility of our as a DBA. Now we know that it comes with a 9i database. 9i database supports still OEL 4.6. Let's say if you wanted to install, let's say you received a 11i software somewhere. If you wanted to really do the 11i installation, you need only operating system version 11i 4.6 version. On that version only it will work. Other than that, if you try also, you will never be able to succeed. So before installing anything, one has to know what version of Oracle applications Oracle application supports, which particular operating system, which hardware is supported. Then only we should proceed with the installation. So this is the minimum knowledge an individual as a DBA will have, should have, before when he say he knows the installation of Oracle applications. Okay. Then CPU requirements. When it comes to CPU requirement, we will also request them. Hey boss, when you are saying that it's a CPU requirement, number of concurrent users and their usage, concurrent managers and the types of job they are trying of running. We have seen that example, right? The history of something, it's a huge programs. That kind of technical understanding we will have from them, and the size of the database, because based upon their inputs, the database size keep increasing, and then desired response time will come up. Okay. Then memory, for to size that we will have to do our all SGA PGA memory setting. And of course you need a disk space, right? For your software you will have a separate, for application log files you have a separate, you should have enough bandwidth and this thing. Then once these all things are ready, we will download the Oracle software. And then what exactly Oracle software will contain is, this is how it looks like. Okay. When you come to this main folder, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 folders. Okay. Inside the 6 folders, again, you will have other directories. Okay. Then how do you do the installation? Stage, start CD, disk 1, and then RapidWiz. RapidWiz is the utility using which you will do the installation of Oracle applications. This is the knowledge we should have. Okay. Always remember, the RapidWiz is a utility using which you will perform a Oracle application installation. Rapid clone is a utility you will use for doing the cloning of Oracle applications. Fine. Yes. Okay, where RapidWiz will be there, it will only be there in the software. Okay. Always the installation path is this only. Wherever you have this files unzipped, stage, start CD, disk 1, RapidWiz. And from here you will come and say RapidWiz bolke, you, the moment you run installer ke jaisa you launch it on Unix, you will have a screen. Okay. Then again you will have installation logs and all. This is 11i, right? This is fine. So it's already, what is that? 11. It is already 11. We will wind up here. We'll connect tomorrow. At what time you are going to? Likewise, we will discuss about 12.1. We will more discuss about R12 here. R12.1 and 12.2. Okay. Okay. We'll discuss both about